Start. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to a new All Mom interview with the amazing. And now I'm kind of screwed because I forgot how to pronounce your name.
You know what? I'm screwed too because I didn't even ask how to pronounce yours. This is amazing, actually. It's Petyah.
Petyah. Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Trust yourself.
So, welcome. Today I'm going to speak to Petyah James, born in Bulgaria and now living in Canada. I think that's absolutely awesome. I'm Brechtje, but you can call me B, as you probably know by now, and we are just going to have an amazing conversation with a very interesting woman who I think can help so many women. It's insane. So I'm
Thank you.
very excited to getting to know you. So Petyah, now, you are a somatic coach.
Yes.
Please tell me what that is.
Sure. Yeah, it's a good question because actually this word somatic, we hear a lot about it now, but really what does it actually mean? So I'm so happy. I'm going to expand on that a little bit. So I am a somatic therapist, and somatic is another word for body.
Okay.
So, the way that I work with people is really centered around the physical body and understanding the physical body, the signs, some symptoms, and how the body presents to us. And to be able to understand also deeper how emotions and stress affect our bodies. And if we're women living in the world and running businesses, we know that stress is inevitable. And really, my work is about supporting the woman who runs both leads a household and an organization or a business or a team or coaches clients. And so my work is really to help her embody her mission, but also to help her navigate some of these other emotional roller coasters that she's really inundated with on daily basis. There's kids to, help, and clients and relationships. And so I teach a really powerful framework for that somatic integration to happen. And so that's really where that work is. It's quite deep. So
It
yeah,
sounds
it
very
is
deep.
powerful though.
I'm getting so curious just by this explanation. So you connect basically the physical body and the deeper emotions to basically everything you're experiencing as a woman.
Correct. As a human, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But you
we do
focus
work
on
with
women or do you also work with men?
I work with men, but my programs are mainly women. It's that matriarch of the family, the mother figure. It's my programs are ideal for her because it's a community of women just like her. So, but with men, I do work with men, and often the work with men is actually indirect. So if we have the woman and then it's the relationship, right? So we focus on her and then we expand out into the circles around. So men also are very receptive because they're human as well, and their bodies also store experiences. So, yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. So you basically help women with their whole, like the whole. It's not just one part of our lives that you are helping with and coaching with. You like you cover the whole thing so we
Yes.
can deal with everything.
hmm it's really, I mean, it is everything, but it's really about the ability to recognize and process and deal with emotional stress and trauma from a body oriented approach. So, my background is actually as a therapist. I have both the physical, the massage therapy part. I used to specialize in craniosacral therapy. Do you know what that is? It's where they really work on the nervous system, and it's a very hands on. So, it happens on the massage table, like hands on. But my other training is in spiritual psychotherapy. So I'm a therapist as well. And I don't do talking much, but it's really all about recognizing how the body is presenting and understanding what to do. So the framework I teach on my program is how to do that. So something happens, I'm feeling triggered, there's a problem in my relationship, or something's happening with their kids or someone else or in business. How is this affecting me? Often we work with different parts like body tension or digestive issues or skin problems or something that the body is giving as a symptom. And especially those things that are like long, like chronic, that come and go, reoccurring. And if women are open, we go into that deeper layer. So it's not just, oh, I have a skin problem, let me put some cream on it and then go. It's like, what is happening that my body is presenting this? And this way, it's a broader view on what's happening in my life. How do I feel? What kind of trauma is stirred up? And so I'm obviously trained to work with people and to create that safe space so we can explore that because we all
That
have,
sounds
yeah.
absolutely like amazing and much needed in this world.
Thank you. It's also not the easiest thing. So sometimes
No.
I have people who are like, whoa, that's so interesting. And some people are like, I can't go there today. No. So that's okay. I do get it. It's not the easiest, thing to kind of want to dive in, but it really is fundamental. And especially for moms, people who are like in charge of raising other humans, because I mean, in all honesty, it's that early experience that we've somehow stored, and depending on what it was, which is sometimes it's beautiful and amazing and sometimes not so much, right? So
Yeah.
it takes a lot of willingness to go there and explore for sure.
Awesome. So now, because you just said like we store a lot of um, events that happened in our early
Mhm.
life. So when we were like toddlers, and we store that. But also I am a young mom. Like I have two kids of my own, 1 and 6 years old. So now I'm like completely triggered, like because after giving birth to my little girl, I was hit by a major PPD, which I ignored for almost 3 years. Not a very good decision to make, but it happened. So she already stored a lot from that energy in that little teeny tiny body from
Mhm.
what I've been through. And I've did that from
Mhm.
probably where my mom has been through. And well, I very much believe that it goes further back than just our moms. Do you deal with that as well? Like when it comes to relationships from mom to child, do you also do stuff with that?
Absolutely. So ultimately, it does this work will always lead to past generations as well because we didn't just kind of get dropped off here today and there's a
We
lot
wish.
to there's a lot to that. So I do want to mention because sometimes, moms will hear, oh my gosh, and now I just messed up my kids like big time. And I just want to give you a piece of, a piece of comfort because you didn't. And that experience was needed for everyone on their path, right? And
Yeah,
so there is a way to, as you do the healing, and that's why I work with the mom, as you approach healing on your own, you are then able to lead and guide, especially your kids, to do the same. So,
yeah,
what I'm referring to really is reparenting and repairing those emotions, right? So, as you're able to process the experience that you had that also involved the little humans around you, and you're able to understand the experience, process, you know, release what's no longer serving, take the lesson, whatever have you, then you can approach the same way with your child and let them know that it's not theirs, right? Whatever happened, it's not something that they need to hold on to. And
yeah.
that happens through your action. So here's something really powerful I'm going to say. the thing that gets stored in the kids is that no one was really there to help them process. Not that there's something that happened, not that it was difficult or there was a, you know, an experience that was hurtful. It's just that maybe there was no one to guide the process for them.
Yeah,
And as
makes
we
sense.
grow, as we learn, and as we heal, we can allow them to experience that as well. So it's really your guilt, energy of the guilt you may feel about that, that is
Yeah.
getting stored. But if you can clear that and work with it, there is nothing really for them to store. It would just be a thing that happened, but it doesn't have to be an experience that's held and stored forever and ever and ever.
Oh, I so love that you say that because I basically was there already, but then like sometimes I just freak out like, oh, did I damage her forever? Like, does she need like therapy in later life? But now you're saying this, like all the healing that I've been through myself and everything, like I made happiness my business, right? Like I started to research it. Like there was just one thing that I wanted to be, and that was happy. So I started to research all different ways to be able to get there and to be happy and how to recover and things like that. So I'm taking her along with that as well. So
Absolutely. And I mean, on
that's a
some
relief.
level, yeah, on some level, she, you know, she came to you at that time, and that was what happened. So somehow, you know, she is here for that experience as well. So I believe that it really does, you know, communication is really so powerful because as you do the work and you're conscious and powerfully walking through the path, you can own that. And as she becomes older and starts to understand, it's like, hey, this did happen. So you'll find traits. And that's what I love teaching women is you can actually read your kids. They're your kids. So you
Yeah.
get to know them so well energetically as well. You can read them, right? And so when you notice something, when you become aware of a pattern for them and you already know this so well, it's like, hey, I know this. Like, this is what happened. This is how we move through it. Is there something, you know, and you can open that conversation and communication, which brings back that presence, which is exactly what was needed for everybody at, you know, the time of healing. So
Yeah.
you know, it's just powerful because then you get to be that safe space and really embody the way that you approach your kids without the fear of like, ooh, I messed you up.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we all even, you know, I have a 3-year-old daughter, and you know, I'm very conscious, and I knew all this stuff in my mind before she came into my life through my body. I have like other kids that I didn't give birth to, but when she came through, I was like, I better not mess this up because I know better, right? And you know what? I
Yeah.
remind myself, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna mess up. And sometimes I yell, and I'm not the nice mommy every time. And
Yeah.
like,
You're
you
still
know, I'm,
human.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, now I lost my question. It's no, I lost it. It's
That's okay. It'll
completely
come back.
completely gone. Like that's the mom brain still.
Yeah, it's a real thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Like I was recovering, like it was finally getting somewhat better, and then I became pregnant after 5 years. So my little girl was five, and then I became pregnant, and now it seems even worse. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's yeah, I got it.
I
So
knew you would.
thank you. Um, so I absolutely love those things to talk about those things because when you say like the fear and the guilt and because you're spiritual and uh, like you are connecting body, mind, emotions, everything, would you say like I truly believe that fear, guilt totally comes from my ego, like not even my brain. Like I truly see my brain as a muscle, and in here there is an ego, which is afraid of stuff. But when I truly connect as a mother to my soul, to my true being, to my inner being, then I'm not insecure whatsoever when it comes to motherhood and things like that.
Mhm.
How do you see that? Like the
Mhm.
mind, body, like,
Mhm. Yeah, it's a really good question, and I think, I mean, so firstly, what I want to say to that is all the emotions are valid. So, meaning, even when we feel fear, there's something in there. When we feel shame or guilt or those emotions that don't feel quite well. And I always kind of do this, like these emotions are like heavier, they're denser, and also the body holds them lower. So the lower parts, like that belly, hips, pelvic area. So when
makes
we think
sense.
about the ego, the ego is really, it's not a bad guy or a good or a bad. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And its one and only job is to protect us. So when the fear comes or something else, if we can recognize the emotion, like I'm feeling fear, and not attach meaning to it, like, oh, I shouldn't be feeling fear, but just recognizing it. And this is what I teach people is run it through your system. That's how I call that. It's run it through the system. This fear, I'm going to run it through my system, which is your body, which is the felt senses that we get to know about our body. And now you're in a process of understanding what this fear is about. And through your cognitive, conscious, like mind and brain, you can decide right now, is this real? Is it true? Asking yourself a few different questions to recognize that, and then to know what you want to do about it. Because it's sometimes I feel people think that they shouldn't feel negative emotions, and
Yeah.
I don't like that.
No.
That word is not real, not true. I mean, there are no negative emotions. They all are. And if we can run them, and the body is just a system to process energy and therefore emotion. Energy and emotion is really the same thing in the body. It's the exact same energy frequency.
Hmm.
And the emotions, they have a frequency too, and so do the body parts. And so wherever it resonates, if the emotion isn't being processed, then it kind of gets energetically lodged or stuck or blocked, or it just doesn't move as easily. And we just want to move the energy. We want to move the energy through the body. That doesn't mean that you will never feel fear or that shame and guilt and whatever never will come up. It
Yeah.
just means you know how to deal with them, and you become better at not staying in the fear place for longer than you really need to, just to get to know it. Does that make sense?
Yes, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I discovered, for example, that when I ignore major decisions that I feel like I have to make, like big life decisions or things like that, or uh, when it comes to relationship or business or whatever, big.
Hmm.
When I start to ignore those just because I don't want to deal with it, I have like instant pain on my hips. It's insane. And once I start to deal with it, it's gone. And the pain is
Hmm.
gone, and I'm able to walk and sit and do whatever I want to do. So that's something I had to learn and to recognize. Like I got it from a book. Um, like I was having a coaching session, and back then I had like right shoulder pains and I was dealing with stuff, and she was like, I'm not surprised that you have pain in your shoulder. And I was like,
Hmm.
why? So she explained, and she had this book. It's from Louis Hay.
Mm.
You Can Heal Your Life. I don't know if you know
Yes.
the book. So I
Yeah.
bought it like instantly. I need to have that book.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's how I got familiar with those kind of things. And then I just started to feel and um, well, I'm very connected, very like if there's something is going on, I know it like right away. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense.
It's so powerful. And Louise Hay, her work is really like one of the pioneers in this work. Someone else that I would recommend is Peter Levine. He has sort of coined, I guess, the phrase somatic experiencing. It's like a method that they teach. I'm trained in that a little bit, but the point of it all is to begin to understand. And sometimes so here's a little bit of a difference. Like it's, even in Louise Hay, her book, they go through all the list of things you could be feeling, and it tells you what area that is and
Yeah,
what mantra and
yeah,
affirmation to use. And sometimes, like, it can be true in this way, but I believe in the power of actually knowing how to explore
yeah,
what it is for you because, again, we're all living and we have a different experience. So if something is held in the hip for one person, that same something can be sitting in the ovaries for another person. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean? So,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
so it's
I
very
think you got
individual.
something there as well because like I I haven't met one person that is like exactly the, well, I read one story once of an identical twin that like had so simultaneous lives. It was insane, but still
Yeah,
they are
yeah,
their own. So,
mhm,
but none of us is the same. So yeah,
yeah,
I love that you're saying that because I also don't want any of the viewers, like if you're watching this, I don't want anyone to think like, oh, then maybe I have this, or oh, maybe there's something wrong with me
mhm,
because I'm feeling that too, but I'm not dealing with that. And so
mhm,
it's, I love that you're saying that, like,
mhm.
um, every experience is different for,
Absolutely. Yeah, we
yeah,
have to start with this, like just to know that I don't know anything about you, right? I don't know, but from the work that I've trained and coached and that I'm, I guess, called to do, because I swear this comes to me and I'm not even trying some days. It's something is coming like you should talk about this, and it's not everyone can't hear this conversation. Like sometimes people are like, this makes no logical sense. I don't understand.
yeah,
And it's because I'm talking about energy in the body. And if the person isn't able for whatever reason to actually feel deeply in their body, that brings me to know safety is the issue. So I actually coach and teach this all over the internet for free, is how to create that safety so that you can go and explore
yeah.
something about your experience and how it's showing up, especially when it comes to emotions.
Well,
Yeah,
feeling
because
safe is a big thing for this.
huge. It's the biggest thing that
Yeah,
has to happen before anything.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And
And just on safety, um, safety is actually not even something that you can be told. Like, oh, listen, it's safe here. You're okay. It's safe here. I can tell you that, but unless you know the experience of safety in
yeah,
your body,
you have no
it,
clue. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But I also like, uh, you just said like not everyone can hear this uh, conversation or can hear what you have to say. I truly believe that you are only ready to get the right information at the right time. Like there are things that I am embodying like just this past year, which I already knew like over a decade ago, but back
Mm,
then I was like, that's loads of crap. Like I was just like, but I wasn't ready. Like it didn't make sense.
yeah.
Now looking back, I was like, oh, I could have done this 10 years ago.
Yeah, you are so right. Until you're ready, right? And we can
Yeah,
be, even with some of my clients, this recently happened where I have been working with a woman and we've worked on multiple different aspects of her life. And she's just been, you know, um, so open to my support. And just last week, she said something with her own words. She said it and she's like, what do you think about that? And my heart was it I just had the biggest smile because I said to her, okay, these are now your words. I could have been saying this to you for a long time, but you just said the words. So this is you coming to, it's like catching up with all of this healing that has happened, and
Yeah.
it's taken a while. And when that clicked, she just had like a like
Yeah.
almost like a melting back, like, oh my gosh, I get it. Now it makes sense, which to me it made sense a long time ago because I'm just there witnessing what's
Yeah.
happening. And yeah, so
But
of
don't you
course.
think that's like sometimes the most, um, yeah, I'm going to use the word frustration because in the beginning I could feel this frustration when something for me was so obvious, but people have to discover for themselves because otherwise
Mhm.
it's just not working. So what you're saying, like when it's clicking and things are falling into place and they are able to use their own words and truly understand and embody those things, and then you're like, oh, this is then so much joy comes
Yes.
along with that, like
Yeah.
having
Yeah.
seeing that breakthrough in someone. That's just
Yeah, it's powerful.
it
One of
is.
my favorite things, and I think one of my superpowers, is my ability to view things from different perspectives, and for myself, but also with my clients, and to stand in different perspectives. So I often have this, and I don't know if this is, I'm a Gemini, like I'm a very just like multi-level conscious like being. I just can keep conversations on different levels at the same time. Not everybody can do this,
And
but
Gemini, that's
and
June, right?
it's yeah, it's end of May, June, yeah.
Yeah.
And and so when I notice things, and often what I do is I'll bring in all these different parts. So we're literally working with multiple different parts with myself or the client here and now, the person that's, the adult self knowing what they know as the leader of the experience, but also having these times when you didn't know, you thought you knew, but you weren't ready. And so in that like circle of healing that we create within someone, there's so much magic because you see how you knew things and you needed certain experiences. Time, that's a big one.
Yeah.
You have to have time and space, and then it can come together. And once it clicks and it's embodied, it's a visceral reaction. You lose weight, you look different, your eyes change. Like it's just a whole different
Yeah.
um, person, really,
Yeah.
in the
I
same
love.
body, but feels different.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like when I think back on moments like huge breakthrough moments, like you just, yeah, you grow as a person, but you are different. Like you will never be the same as before because of the things like you can never, how do, what the hell am I, you cannot go smaller. Like
Hmm.
you can never go back. Like with the knowledge, with the breakthroughs, with when you are able to deal with stuff, healing, you almost can't unheal. Like, do you know where I'm going to go?
I do. I will say it. Once you know something, you can't unknow it. You literally
Yes,
cannot unknow what you just became aware of. So that is what is the blessing and the curse in all of this because
yes,
yeah, because sometimes awareness, and this is the first, always the first step, and I approach awareness through the body, and in my programs that's how we learn, but it is the first step and not the last. And actually a lot of people, we sometimes choose to stay in awareness because it's safe, because it becomes the safe part. It's like, I know this, I somewhat know this, but I'm not willing to go and understand it all that much. And I'm also not, can never really unknow it. So I'm just going to be like right here until I'm ready. And that's okay. We can stay in that space of awareness until we're ready, just as long as we know that if we're aware that something doesn't feel good and it's not working, our presence is required to that, to make it work, to change, to take yourself through the process. Otherwise, it's okay. You can stay there. It's just maybe change will not come so fast. Does that make
Makes
sense? That's
total
why
sense.
unknowing is hard.
It is. It is. Yeah, in my program, I start with acknowledgement and acceptance, and I think that's kind of the same as awareness. Like you need to be aware of something and accept it first before you can even do something about it. So that's
Mhm.
yeah, I love that. So now I can truly believe that for someone who has never worked with coaches or with therapists or with, now I'm lost the word again,
Somatic,
somatic coaches,
somatic healing.
yeah, that this conversation may not have made the biggest sense. So, what would you like? Could you give an example for a mom in full struggle, young kids, full-time job, or a stay-at-home mom, like having this juggling thing all together, household, relationship, keeping everyone happy, taking care of everybody else but herself? Could
Mhm.
you give an example of how um, she could, because she's experiencing stress, like loads
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
When someone comes in, talks to you, says this and this and this and this is happening, I have to do this, I have to be there, I have to run school runs and this and this and this and this, and I just don't have time for myself, and I don't even know when to shower, and it's just all too much, and I'm kind of on the breakdown and blah blah blah. I know
Mhm.
there's loads of women of that like
Mhm. I know this.
that. What would you say to someone like that?
Mm, great question. And I'm going to use words that are easier to grasp, not so. Um, so actually, before I say this, this is my next journey in my entrepreneurship is I'm taking all this knowledge and expertise that I have and looking to bring it inside the schools. So we can teach workshops to teachers and parents
Love that.
on this because it is so important, especially now. Because listen, every mom is the mom that's like,
Yeah,
I'm just trying not to drop something, right?
yeah,
Like
for
that's
sure.
basically every single mother out there, and and probably teacher. And but here's the thing: we often feel like we can't keep up because we haven't met the energy or the emotion that we need. So we're operating from a full place already, full of external stuff, other people's things, the to-do list, the business and we have not have had the time to actually self-care. Now here's the thing, because some people are like, just don't talk to me about self-care again. I don't have time for a massage. I don't have time for this.
Yeah,
So here is a differentiating factor, and if anything you take away from this conversation, please let it be this for those watching and who will watch later. There is a difference between self-care and emotional care. What we do not know how to do because no one taught us, we didn't witness it, most of us in childhood, was the emotional care.
yeah.
I'm not talking about bath and nails done and a massage and a spa and walk in nature. Those are all powerful things for self-care. I highly recommend all of them. But before they can be helpful, we have to figure out how to emotional care. So if it's a busy woman who's running that household, everybody's got appointments, there's all these other to-do lists that never end. What we have to in this day and age is learn a way, a quick method. Again, I teach this. I've created a whole program around it because it's it's necessary. Learn how to meet yourself first thing every single day. It might be the hardest thing you've ever tried to do for the first week. I promise this gets easier and easier because it's just a quick check in. It's like, what is happening for me so I can clear the space, and then I can get to my list from a place of calm and like connected confidence. Like, I've got this. And then maybe you make it until lunchtime, and then the to do list is overwhelming, and then the emotions come in. But then you know what you need to do. So the powerful thing is that if we're just beginning or you're recognizing something is not working, it's finding a way to start connecting with yourself. That's why I teach the body stuff, because it's the easiest way to. I'm not talking about meditation for an hour where you sit there and you quiet your mind, because people that you just described, they're like, I cannot quiet my mind. I cannot quiet my mind. So meditation doesn't work for me, which is like that you wrote off meditation too quick, but it's because
Yeah.
there is the body, the emotions, everything that is here and now that wants your attention. So when that's happening and you try to meditate by like creating the blank canvas, and it's like, no, I have all kinds of little things coming on the blank canvas, it's not working. That's where I say, well, let's do the somatic intelligence. Like, what does your body know for you today? And take it through the process, take it through the system, because at the end of that exploration, you have an actionable step. What do I need to do? There's either I take a nap or don't do anything, or, or there's maybe one little small thing, or there's a conversation that can be had, then you can create the space. And now you have all the space within you to go do the tasks of the day. Does that make sense? So it really, my point is grounding yourself, finding a way to be here and to be present with yourself first and foremost, because nobody else is getting any good from you if
No,
that's not happening, right? If
that's
it's
very
you're
true.
not first.
So first it's like you wake up, just sit on your bed and just acknowledging everything that's going on inside of you.
Mm. So I will share, actually, if you want me to, I have a body scan that I share with people. So it's a 10-minute thing. This is an audio, but once you get it, you can do this on your own. And it's just a check-in through the body. It's a guided, focused exercise. And based on what comes up, what part, you begin to get to know the energy held there for you. That's the whole point, is to learn to do this for yourself.
Yeah.
And um and then you're able to actually move through that. And yeah, it could take 5 minutes or 20 minutes or 45 minutes if you have them.
Whatever
It
you
can really be
choose.
part of your coffee ritual, or but it's a way to be like, what's happening today? Like, I actually had a busy week this week, and it was one where I was coming, like, I was face on for a lot. And a part of me was like, oh my God, I'm just so tired. I like can't even pull this again. And each morning I would remind myself of, why is it important for me to do what I'm doing? Like, the bigger picture, like, what is the pull here? Because I have a busy week, but there's something that I know I'm connected to. And that's like from work that I've done. Like, what is it? And then I just tune into that. And all the meetings and all the things, they happened. They're gone already. I don't have to think about them. But what I have left is the knowing that I'm doing this because something is pulling me and I'm not overstepping. And mamas, I'm going to tell you some things you just got to drop off the plate and the to-do list. Like, we have to. We
Yeah,
have to.
I totally
If you're going to
agree.
lead anyone else as well as your family and yourself, we have to drop some things off or get them to someone else.
Yeah.
Can do it all. I mean, I shouldn't say that. I think we can do it all, and we need support.
Yes. We don't have to do it all. Like we can delegate, indeed, ask for help, or sometimes I truly believe like we don't even have to want to do it all. Like we
You know,
can.
something's coming to my mind right now. The whole thing of I can do it all. And this might be unpopular opinion here. I believe you can do it all from a place of I can do whatever I desire. Like I can follow my desires whatever they are.
Yeah.
But can I do it all? Like can I be the cooker, the clean, the laundry person, in every single day and run a business? And have a how many hats can I wear? You can't wear them all,
No.
or nor should you want to, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was this it was a post in a group yesterday, and it was like, if money weren't an issue, what in your life would you have done by someone else? And it was a mom entrepreneurs group. Basically, the only answer were cleaning, cooking, gardening, things like that. And I was like, if money wasn't an object, like I would have like a help in the house because I simply don't like it. I know I could do it, but I don't want to. Like it's just that
Yeah,
simple.
exactly. There is only a few hours that your full capacity and energy can be used and is the most powerful.
Yeah.
So I guess we get to decide what that is for our lives. I love to cook. Feeding my family, feeding people in general. I think there should be a sixth love language because it's food. I just love to use food as, to give love and to host. I actually like it. I don't mind making dinner for my family every single night, but I'm not gonna clean the floors, wash the laundry, do all these things, and cook and run a business and take care of children. And
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna do this stuff. And when I'm doing business from home, I'm not home as a mom and as the clean. So the kitchen is gonna pile up, like
Yeah.
it's just choices.
Choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're already talking for 40 minutes. Can't you believe it? So we're going to wrap this up. But when women are watching this and think like this sounds absolutely totally amazing, you just mentioned a body scan that you would like to share,
Mhm.
which is
Yeah.
absolutely fine. Like you could share that, that's no problem. If it's an outside link, then we it's better to put it in the comments and in the post, because otherwise the Facebook people are disliking it basically. But if someone would like to work with you, where can they find you? What can they do to get in touch? Like,
Yeah. So the best place is always my website, which is petyahjames.com. And from there, I do offer just 20-minute consultations where we can just meet and just discuss what this is and where it's going for you. Some people really feel drawn to it. So that's a good way. The other way on social media, so the body scan, I'll share in the comments. And basically, what that is, again, it gives you a guidance into the body. It gives you a few ways to begin to understand what relationships in your life could be affecting your body physically. What could you be storing from past situations or dysfunctional or toxic relationships, or where could that be, and to ease that. And based on that body scan, I actually have a Facebook group as well. It's called Nurture Your Body and Relationships. And every week in there, we do different themes. So when you do the body scan, you'll notice that there is 7 main areas that we focus. So it's upper body tension, like shoulder, neck, headaches, those kinds of pains. Lower body, so like hips and knees and feet and lower body area stuff. We talk about digestion, we talk about skin issues, sleep problems, weight, low weight, high weight, like all that stuff, fatigue and burnout. And those are all symptoms, right? So
Yeah,
these symptoms we discuss inside the group. Every week we have a different theme, and that's where people engage with that. So the body scan is helpful because then you get to really connect the dots in the group. So I invite you to come in and check out what this is all about. I do know
sounds
that it does
amazing.
require some willingness. And yeah, ask questions if you have them.
Awesome. Petyah,